Good morning, everyone. How are you today? If you're here, give me a hello or a wave, say good morning. I had a few people reach out about cards yesterday because they like the cards that I'm using. Just wanted to let you know that I do have a couple of decks in stock here that I can get to you if you're interested. But Thrive is having an online party this Friday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And she's going to be selling tarot decks and oracle decks. So last week she did a crystal party and it lasted about 2 hours. So this Friday at 7, it's all about cards. So you might want to go to that event. I'll post a link to it here if you're interested. And maybe I'll see you online there. And you can see what kind of cards she has. She does have a whole bunch in stock. So today's cards are really about embracing ourselves and who we are and all of us completely. So the first card that I want to talk about is from the Love Yourself cards deck. And it says, I love myself totally in the now. So I'll read the description on the card or the message. Healing means to make whole and to accept all parts of myself, not just the parts I like, but all of me. And this is so important for us to embrace ourselves completely. The card that came up, there's a few that came up with this. So we're always a work in progress. We're always working through things, releasing them, and growing. And then we get to celebrate. And then we do it again. So the goddess card that came up was the in-between. So right now, I don't know about all of you, but I'm starting to feel like I'm getting myself into a regular routine now, which I know will be shifted again in the next few weeks or months. But this in-between of the unknown and not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, we don't always know that anyways. So for us right now, we're in this in-between, but everything is being, it's almost like it's all exaggerated. So we're seeing things in a real fearful picture for us, but every day is kind of an in-between. We don't always know what tomorrow brings. Right now we're being forced to look at a different life right now. And for some of us it's really scary, but our regular day-to-day, good morning Joanne, how are you? Our regular day-to-day life, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. It's never promised. I mean, how many of you have lost a job or lost a loved one? You weren't expecting it. Good morning, Sean. But now it's like all of this is just being blown up in our face and there's so much panic. And we're feeling everyone else's energy, which is why I spend a lot of time online helping people look at themselves and the energy vibration they're putting out into the universe. Good morning. Is it Rhonda or Bill online? Good morning, guys. So when we really focus on our energy and what we're putting out into the universe, we can create that calmness. It's like a ripple effect. So the opposite way is we have all these people who are struggling. And for those of us who are very sensitive to energy and very sensitive emotionally, we're feeling everyone else's stuff. And it's coming at us like hitting a brick wall. It's really, for me, some days I just feel a lot of anxiety. Hi, Rhonda. I feel a lot of anxiety with the energy. And this morning I could feel it too. And I think part of it is the weather, but because we had such a beautiful day here yesterday. But everyone else's stuff, I feel it, and I bet most of you are as well. So if we can really start to focus on ourselves and our energy vibration and the energy we're putting out, we can have a positive ripple effect on the people that are struggling and maybe make them feel a little better too. Now with that, this card actually goes with it really well. So from my well-being deck, it says, it is contrast that puts the eternalness in eternity. So for us, it's all about the things that come to us that create contrast in our lives. So the stuff going on right now is really unsettling for us. But this is actually an opportunity for us to keep safe, of course, but an opportunity for us to go within and grow and look at ourselves, look at our lives and where we are right now. We have, many of us have time to work on us and where we want to be and sit with how we're feeling, which for a lot of people, the ones that aren't doing the work on themselves, they're going to be really, really uncomfortable being alone and spending time with themselves. But it's about taking this opportunity to really learn to connect with ourselves and love ourselves. I'm seeing this as a gift given to so many of us. Hi, Sammy. Yeah. Do you feel the anxiety more today, Sean, than usual? Like, I'm feeling it a lot more today. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling it at all. Good morning, Karen. So know that when contrast comes up in our lives, it's actually the universe showing up for us, saying, okay, you need to look at this. You need to figure this out. This is your next task that you need to work through in order to grow. So I try not to get caught up in fear. Fear is more of a challenge. It's, what do I need to learn from this? What is this trying to teach me? Because we want to work through that and we want to grow. The next card that came up, and this is from my Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck, is about embracing your sensitivity. Your sensitivity is the sacred gateway to your intuition. It's that special receptive radar that picks up energy and signals. In fact, your sensitivity is one of your greatest assets and the key to your survival. The more you connect with it, the more miracles and synchronicities you'll attract into your life. And this is so true. So for some of us that are feeling really anxious right now, it's quite possible we're picking up on other people's stuff, other people's emotions and the things they're feeling, because they're putting out that energetic vibe and we're going to feel it. This is where I like to use crystals. I always use crystals and wear them when I go out. I have them around my home. I find for energy and being able to protect and filter what energy we're feeling, a lot of the dark colored crystals are really good for that. Obsidian is great for that, as well as black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is one of my favorite. Black onyx is really good as well. So if you have questions about crystals, feel free to shoot me a message, because they're really great energy. They're great for healing. They're great for all kinds of energy work, but filtering energy and protecting our energy, they're really great for that too. The other thing that comes up, because and this card has come up once before already, because we're working on us and we're kind of in the in-between still right now, we're feeling a lot of loss in our lives. And it doesn't matter whether loss is a loss of routine, a loss of your schedule, losing a loved one. They're all different forms of loss, which we need to do the grief work. So, oh, and my dogs are barking. So with grief work, this is all about understanding those losses and being able to work through them so that we can grow, we can heal, and release the things that no longer are serving us. Oh, my sweet little dog's singing this morning. The mailman must be here. So with grief work, we just need to be patient with ourselves and allow us to experience emotions and work through them with the focus on healing, with the focus on bringing the things we want into our lives. Because sometimes we need to sit with those emotions in order to work through them. The next card that comes up with that is, after spending time out of our routine and feeling like we are in kind of like in a different life. Sometimes I feel like I'm just sitting back and watching a movie. But the next card that comes up, and this is my second butterfly card that came up today, is about changing your mind. And knowing that as you start to work on yourself, you might change your focus on what your priorities are in your life. the things you enjoy, the things you love. And this is all part of us spending time with ourselves, and we're healing and we're shifting. We might find some relationships grow closer as we do this. We might find we enjoy spending time on our own, when before we never wanted to do that, or we did it too much and weren't comfortable with it. Be open to changing your mind. Be open to questioning things that aren't sitting with you. As we start to embrace our sensitivity and grow, the card talked about it connecting us to our intuition more. So when we're connecting with our intuition, we're starting to become our authentic self and really paying attention to that internal radar that we have. And as we do that, again, changing our mind on things comes up. I've learned, one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life, and this is all about the beliefs that we've been brought up with, and we all have different experiences based on that. But I was always taught and raised never to question anyone in authority. So that would be a teacher, a doctor, a police officer, anybody that I was taught you have to respect them, you have to listen to them regardless of what they say, what they tell you to do. They are always right. You don't question it. And I've learned that I question everything now. And a lot of that has been experiences that I've had in my life where I'm not feeling okay. I listen to my intuition. And if I'm not feeling okay with it, then I question it. And it's learning to trust myself. And it's all part of learning to love ourselves and embrace who we are and realizing our worth. And then we stop to ask those questions because we have the right to feel comfortable. We have the right to feel safe. And nobody has that kind of authority over us. We give them that power. And that's been a huge lesson for me because I always, being raised fear-based. So there's always consequences if you don't listen, don't follow a rule. And that's how our society is based a lot of the times. But there's no need to have that fear. It's about having that respect, but respect for ourselves too, and being able to stand up for ourselves when we need to. As we start to build our intuition more and we're really working on ourselves, the next card that came up, and this is the second one from my Goddess deck today, is the card of assurance. So there was a few messages in these cards that talked about our intuition and being guided on our path. So paying attention to those signs as they come up is really important for us. That gives us the confirmation and the assurance that yes, we're on the right path. We need to keep moving forward. And I find a lot of times these cards will give me those messages when I use them for myself every day. And that's why I'm doing it here, because I find them so helpful to get that little bit of inspiration or guidance or that message that something important that we need to focus on today. So trusting your gut instinct is so important, connecting with that intuition. The next card that came up, and this is from my numerology deck, is about spiritual partnerships. So this is about finding your tribe. So finding those people that have common interests with you that you connect with, so that they'll show up in your life when they're supposed to, and you will meet them at the oddest places, and sometimes they'll show up and you don't realize that they're actually part of your tribe, and that they have, because we don't always have these conversations about our emotions, about our intuition and that kind of thing. But when we start to look at our interests and we ask the universe to guide us, that's when those people will start showing up, and we'll start creating those partnerships where we have like-minded friends that we can have those conversations with, that we can learn from. I've met so many incredible people in the last 6 years that have really helped me to grow, taught me so many different things, and they all, I never imagined being able to have those people in my life. And then I've had people come back into my life that were there from my youth, but we never had those conversations back then. Now we're having those conversations. We're helping each other grow. We're supporting each other, which is a great feeling. We need those kind of people in our life. I don't know about you guys, but I find myself when I was younger, I would always have people come and just dump all their problems on me. And I always felt like I had to do something to help them. And this is all the empath stuff. So being sensitive and having very sensitive energy. People that are struggling are drawn to empaths. So I would have these friends that I eventually, because they wanted to stay in that victim mentality, that I had to distance myself from them because it didn't matter what I would say. I wasn't able to help them, and I didn't understand I was taking on all their energy. So they were exhausting for me. And I would just slow down the amount of contact I had with them because it was affecting me emotionally and my mental health. And I felt so sorry for them, but they wanted to be kept in that victim mentality. So I was actually enabling them by allowing them to dump all this stuff on me and just walk away with no responsibility. So that was a lesson for me. The last card that came up was from my Angel Messages deck. And this card is about books. So I don't know what your connection to books is. I know for me, I've started writing 2 books. I started that last fall and I put them aside and I haven't touched them in a few months. And I keep getting that reminder that I need to get back to that. Writing can be very healing for us. So when we share our story, it helps us to release those emotions that we sometimes bottle up. So the card message says your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling books. So part of me is talking, my first book is about my life, my spiritual journey, and how I can look back on my life and see the things that were really there to help me in my path. Instead, I got stuck in the struggle. I'm hoping that it will help someone else. So I highly recommend, if you are a reader at all, to start reading books. And there's a lot of electronic books. I struggle with reading on my phone. But there's tons of different books out there that can help you with whatever it is you're looking for, what you're interested in. Even sharing, reading people's posts that inspire you. Finding some groups online where you can connect with people with similar interests. That, or they might have similar experiences that you can learn from as well. To me, knowledge is so important. Oh, you've been reading paranormal books, Sean? I have a couple of weird books here. They're actually my grandmother's. And I had no idea that she was into any paranormal anything or into witchcraft or anything like that. And her mother was a tea leaf reader and very, very intuitive and embraced her gifts. And my grandmother never did. And I found these books on witchcraft and paranormal and all kinds of stuff that she had in her home. I found them after she passed, and I had no idea that she had them. It's stuff we never talked about. So I have some books on law of attraction that when Wayne Dyer passed away, they put all of his books on sale for a couple of dollars online. I think I bought 20 books, and I haven't read any of them. But I'm not a big reader. I'm more of a visual learner. So I like listening to people on YouTube, trying to find different podcasts that I like, that I'm interested in, just to learn more. Because there's so much out there we don't know. So it's whatever we're drawn to learning about. We should be guiding ourselves to that and gathering the information that we need. I try and go by what my intuition tells me. Oh, I used to have Anne Rice's vampire series books, Sean, and I really enjoyed those. That was back when I used to read. Now if I read, I fall asleep. I don't think I've ever heard of Hans Holzer, though. Does he write fictional paranormal stuff or non-fictional? And see, I like reading a lot of the stories you post in the paranormal group that you run. I find those interesting too. All about the unknown stuff. I just like to keep an open mind and read different things. So it's all about learning. So however you learn, and for some of us who are working on healing ourselves right now, journaling is a great way to release. So if you're not today, you don't want to write that book, maybe start journaling. It helps us to heal. It helps us to grow. And then at one point, we might decide to take those journals and create and write our story. We never know what the universe is going to have us do or bring the opportunities they're going to bring for us. I never ever pictured myself as a writer. English was one of my worst subjects in school. I was the math person. So for me, writing is not something I enjoy. But when I get into that flow, it just starts. And I could sit for hours and write. Not that I do it a lot, but we just never know. We need to be open to what the universe can bring us. So I'm going to leave that with you for today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have an inspiring day. Thank you.